And now it's time for our viewer poll review. Earlier we asked you, do you think the 4 industrial baseball players will be convicted at tomorrow's hearing? So this was when the hearing was previously scheduled for an earlier date. It has since been moved, but at that time 80% of you said yes and 20% of you said no. We also asked y'all, do you expect the Pennsylvania manhunt to last this long, or did you expect it to last this long? So they did capture that fugitive, and 8% of you said yes, 92% of you said no. I believe that was about 2.5 weeks long of a hunt. Wow. All right, and now we're moving on back to grief and grieving. We touched on ways to deal with grief through faith. Now we move on to the physical aspect, and we welcome Dr. Ty Myers. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Dr. Ty, can you talk to us about the physical symptoms, what to look out for, especially as we approach the holiday season? Some people may still be grieving for loved ones that are long past.
Yeah. Grief has a lot of stress that builds up, and as Pastor Green said before, releasing that stress is important. And when it isn't released, it can have some physical consequences. Folks can have trouble with their blood pressure, trouble with anxiety, depression, all things that can really affect their well-being.
Things you don't want to ignore.
No, you don't want to ignore. They'll get worse and they'll build up. And as we come into the holiday season, like you said, this is a time where a lot of people are experiencing the holidays for the first time without a loved one. And that hits differently. And it's important, as you said earlier, to be open with your family members and come together and share those experiences that you're having and not hold them all in.
It could be a conversation that a daughter, a son is really wanting to have with that parental unit, and even though it's our duty, usually as the older sibling or as a parent, to stay strong, you want to be able to open up.
You do, and it doesn't have to be sad memories. It can be the joy, prior holiday traditions that your loved one, held close to, and how do we honor that this season, in holding their memory strong, because they're with us always, and we want to celebrate that.
And staying away from drug abuse, from substance abuse, from over drinking. Yeah,
all those are ways of kind of masking that internal anxiety, grief, depression that that needs to be processed, and those mask it, but they don't get rid of the problem.
Do you recommend scheduling like a physical exam with a doctor if you notice like this is really weighing on me?
I think definitely getting in with your doctor and discussing it. There may be techniques to use to help deal with the stress. There may be medications that are warranted as well that can help through this period.
Well, we want to thank you so much, Dr. Ty, for giving us your time here on Crossroads. Is there anything else another tip that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Address the elephant in the room. Just be open with your family. Talk about what you're feeling. They're likely feeling it as well. And when you open that communication, then there's a lot of growth that can happen in the family.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, that concludes this week's Community Crossroads. Thank y'all for joining us. Take care of each other, have those conversations, and we'll see you next week.